the speaker panels that we went to on the first day. I thought those were super informative as well. Was there anything that really kind of stood out to you during those panels? Welcome to Vendtelligence. This podcast is sponsored by Kiosoft. On today's episode, Convenience U conference recap. Let's get Vendtelligent.
Chipotle, Papa John's, Domino's. I know we had Domino's last time, but what's your favorite pizza place?
My favorite pizza place, to order from regularly?
Yeah, regularly or just in general.
In general?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I haven't had really good pizza in a while, to be honest.
Okay.
Typically, I just order from Domino's because it's just the easiest. They give me a lot of coupons.
Yeah.
I have the app. It's whatever. But, the last really good pizza I had was actually at this restaurant in Guelph.
Okay.
Shoot, I forgot the name of it, but it's
It's all right. We're not doing any free advertisement here.
No,
so,
we're not. We're definitely
right?
They're not paying us.
Yeah, they're not paying us. They got to bring the bread, right? So
gotta bring
can't
the
do
dough.
that.
Yeah,
bring the dough, right? You see how we all lines in together. But
how about you?
Honestly, the best pizza places I've had are not the major chains. They're the mama papa shops.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a couple in Milton that I could take you to that are pretty dope.
Okay.
But if I was gonna use a major chain, Domino's is all right. Their sauce is inconsistent.
You need extra cheese on the Domino's pizza. I find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Papa John's is pretty cool. Maybe we order Papa John's after an episode here. But what we could do, maybe eat something healthy, right? There's a lot of suppliers when it comes to foods and stuff, and that's where we're gonna get into this episode.
Yeah.
This episode, we're gonna talk about the Convenience U CARWACS Show that we went to. We had a blast.
That was awesome.
Lots of interviews, lots of Canadian suppliers. I know there's a big push right now to support local, support Canadian, and this is the show to be at, to do that. And as a vending operator, I had a blast there. I know you had a blast there. We did videos, we did footages.
Yeah.
When audience here that are following us on our socials, you'll see it on our stories, on our posts, on our reels of all the footage that we took at the CARWACS Show. Yeah, that's why it's important to subscribe to us on YouTube so you could see the cool videos like this.
And our beautiful faces.
Yeah, that's what you like that plug. That's a perfect plug, right?
At Vendtelligence on all platforms.
All platforms. So there was some interesting vending machines there. Now, anything that stuck out to you, as far as innovating the industry?
Yeah, there were one or two things. I think the one that stood out the most was probably the smart fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was leveraging AI in addition to essentially just being able to tap your card on the fridge, open it up, pull out the product, etc. I think that would mainly be primarily for micro markets. How about you? Was there anything interesting that you saw?
Transform your vending experience with Kiosoft's all-in-one solutions. From compact to full-size machines, we have the ideal solution for every need. Every machine comes equipped with our Ultra Series payment readers, offering versatile payment options, a sleek LCD touchscreen display, and effortless integration. Along with Kiosoft's backend management system, you get remote inventory tracking, real-time data analytics, comprehensive reporting, and much more, all from a single platform. Check it out.
I want to touch on that smart fridge.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? AI generated. In this industry, when I first stepped in vending, I wanted to disrupt the industry. Everything is very analytical, or analog, I should say, not analytical. Very analog. When you think about vending machines, you think about a glass front, no digital screen on the side, just a very old analog keypad with ABCs 1, 2, 3s, and that's how you select your product.
Literally.
Literally, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a sexy business, but it could be. It is getting sexier now when you start to incorporate AI and the modern look, sleek looks of machines. So for an example, this Kiosoft behind us, shout out to Kiosoft, you have a nice screen. Very, very user friendly, and clients enjoy that. Now back to the fridge. That's amazing. When we looked at this fridge, you open the fridge, it has mini cameras all around the fridge. And then you open it, whatever you take, then it charges your card. Like, that's phenomenal.
So like, sorry to cut you off. Even if somebody were to come and like just clear out the whole thing, the way the technology works, the way it was explained to us, is that all of those products would be counted. And if there is any issues, there is still somebody in the back end who's monitoring those cameras.
Exactly. And the cool thing is I could take out, put back in, take out, put back in, and then whatever I put back in, I won't be charged. And it doesn't have to be at the same row or column or level. I could take out from any row or column. So, and I think that was pretty cool. That I was really intrigued about that. Stay tuned. I do want to purchase one of those machines and put in maybe one of my locations. But that's something we would need to stay tuned for. As far as, like supporting local suppliers that we've seen at this show, is there any suppliers that stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, well, one of them wasn't local. This company originally was from New Zealand, but it was the apples in the tube. I think it was called Rocket Apple.
The Rocket Apple, that was crazy.
Yeah.
How do you like those apples?
Yeah. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool because obviously, there's a push for healthy vending, not just in Canada, but in the States as well. People are just trying to be healthier in general. So that product really made a lot of sense, especially for operators who are trying to get into high schools or just elementary schools. Or
absolutely. That's where Conscious Cravens comes in.
Exactly. So I thought that was really cool. Were there any that you thought were interesting as well?
I did like the Rocket Apple. Great VP, great CEO there. That we met. We have the interview there. So you'll see it pop up here. There was another sandwich meal company that had 90-day shelf life. That was pretty cool. I don't know do you remember the name of that company?
Unfortunately, I don't remember the name. But we'll have the interview come up in a second as well, so people can see. I thought that was super cool. Especially, for operators who are trying to get into factories. A lot of the times they will ask if you are able to provide food. And this is a good way to get around having to provide like sandwiches that'll expire in 2 weeks or something like that.
Because one of the main issues and headwinds you face as a operator when dealing with fresh food and sandwiches, etc., is the shelf life. If something expires within 3 to 5 business days, now you have to encounter and incorporate the price of that product, which might be a turnoff to your clients, and it's wastage. Ava Water is an ultra refreshing relaxation drink that helps you chill, reset, and stay on top of your game. Sit back and relax. So, what would you have said, as far as the show goes, what would you have said that was missing, or what you would have liked to see at the CARWACS Show?
Yeah, great question. So, I guess what I thought was missing was just kind of a area or any kind of specific resources for new people getting into the industry. Obviously, you can go and speak to all of the different vendors and everything, but still it's kind of like, okay, like I spoke to this person, I spoke to that person, who do I go with? What equipment do I go with? What suppliers do I go with? So it would have been nice if there was just maybe even like a training session or something like that. Cause we attended those talks in the morning and stuff. But yeah, so maybe that's something that you and I will need to bring next year.
Vendtelligence booth. If you guys want to see a Vendtelligence booth, let us know.
Drop a like and comment. Yeah,
let us know, and then we'll probably set that up and be there next year.
Exactly.
Now, something that I would have liked to see at that show would have been specialty vending.
Yeah.
Something that we're seeing online that's really buzzing online is the pizza vending. Cotton candy, something that we have. That would be so cool to see there. And the logistics of the specialty vending and how it's really attacking the industry.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. Maybe it's that those companies think the Canadian market is too small, but, obviously you and I are seeing that there's more and more interest going into the specialty vending market. So I think, for any suppliers who are looking at the Canadian market, it's certainly an area for growth here.
Transform your vending experience with Kiosoft's all-in-one solutions. From compact to full-size machines, we have the ideal solution for every need. Every machine comes equipped with our Ultra Series payment readers, offering versatile payment options, a sleek LCD touchscreen display, and effortless integration. Along with Kiosoft's backend management system, you get remote inventory tracking, real-time data analytics, comprehensive reporting, and much more, all from a single platform. Check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Would be a great catalyst for specialty vending manufacturers.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if there's any specialty vending manufacturers who want to reach out to us and talk, we'd love to have a chat with you and see how we can bring your products to Canada. Another thing that I thought could have been a little bit more cohesive was just the micro markets. Because, again, being new, getting into the industry, if you don't really know specifically what is involved with a micro market, I think there was a couple different booths scattered around that had different aspects, like the smart fridges, for example, and then there was like a payment terminal area on another part of it. But like if you're not really in it like that, you don't really know. So I don't know if they want to maybe kind of group all the micro market stuff together, just like kind of how they group the vending stuff together. That might make it a little bit easier for people to kind of understand, what goes into it and who specifically to speak to.
Yeah, you're right. Like when it comes to resources, like I felt we felt that there was a gap in resources stepping in this industry in Canada. Now, I feel the same way. I feel strongly about that when it comes to micro markets. And I think this will be a great way for micro market organizations to really display what they offer, especially at this trade show.
Yeah. And you know what else I'd like to see actually as well is I'd like to see some stuff on the amusement side, like when it comes to arcades and those kind of vending products. I think that's enough involved in vending that should also be at the CARWACS show, because you're seeing a lot of these different like barcades popping up everywhere. And so then again, it's like, okay, if I want to start an arcade, where do I go? Is there a trade show for that in Canada? I mean, I think it should be included in next year's as well.
So better yet, I know we're talking about like next year's. We need to start like a Vendtelligence vending trade show.
I know, right?
And just have everything vending. Micro markets, traditional, amusement, because there is a market for it. So we just need to organize one, have it in a Toronto Convention Center or wherever, and just do a world tour. Stay tuned.
World tour.
That's a project. That's a project we're gonna do here.
For sure.
You know, but it is growing year by year. This CARWACS show, like even if I compare it to last year, I've noticed something that I noticed. I know you weren't there last year, but I noticed more vending operators there this year, right, that I came across. The population increase as far as volume of attendees and retailers. and it was a great show this year. It was a great show last year, but I'm glad to see the increase year over year.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, like, shout out to CAMA. They put on a really great event. Like, despite stuff that we would like to see, I thought they put on an excellent event. And on that note as well, you know, the speaker panels that we went to on the first day, I thought those were super informative as well. Was there anything that really kind of stood out to you during those panels?
There was one, the cybersecurity for Vending and how they're going to incorporate that like with AI and stuff. Yeah. That was really interesting to see, and how AI is going to be a very big contributing factor to the vending industry, right? And security and cybersecurity. That was very interesting to see.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think, you know, we've kind of hit on this before, but just the differences between the traditional and the modern vending, it's really, we're in tech, right?
Yeah,
we're in retail tech. And so I think it makes the most sense to actually think about the vending industry as a tech industry.
Absolutely.
And, you know, how do we leverage this new technology in order to not only like make money for ourselves and our clients, but also to better serve our customers, you know? How do we get them the better products that they want when they want it?
Yeah, because we're in a day and age now. We're in an era of convenience.
Yeah.
And we need to supply that experience for our customers.
Give me that chocolate now.
Right, exactly. They want that chocolate now. And they want to know that their chocolate is protected.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? When they're purchasing that chocolate, how do we have their best interests in mind?
For sure, for sure. One thing that I thought was interesting as well was the chat that the Calgary Roaster, I forget the name of the company, but they were speaking about the coffee industry and all of the inflationary pressures on the price of coffee, essentially.
Yes.
You know, they've had a few bad years of crops in general, I guess, more so in South America, just because of climate change. Then we also have, you know, these on-again, off-again tariffs. We also have a weakening Canadian dollar, and then all of coffee is actually sold in USD. So that hurts our coffee industry. So it was just kind of interesting to hear a little bit more about that and about how they're trying to combat that. And one thing I think that is important to keep in mind for people who are getting into coffee is to understand like how to properly price their coffee, how to properly price their cup, whether they're invoicing the company or whether it's just with the payment system directly on the machine. Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
I totally agree with you. And those were some informative points and some informative nuggets that were brought up at the CAMA Show, and especially in that session. What would you say to vending operators out there? How important is it to attend a show like this? And I know there's other shows too, spread out through North America. There's one in Vancouver that's coming up, Vegas, Florida, etc. How important it is for vending operators to attend these trade shows?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's extremely important. You know, not only to just see the new products and whether it be from the actual like product side or from the equipment side, but also just to network with like-minded people in the industry. At the end of the day, networking is the most important thing I think that a business owner can do. Absolutely.
Like, and this is another way to step into the resources for the vending industry, and especially vending in Canada. These are like great events to go to, and like we touched on, networking is huge. Just meeting, I know we met a few vending operators out in BC, and just the market out there, how different it is from Ontario. What works there might not work here, and vice versa, and that's from east to west coast. But it's great to pick their brain. I had like a lot of questions for them, and I know they had questions for us. So that was awesome. Now, with all that being said, let us know what kind of networking events you guys would like us to see or like us to go to. Hit us up with any questions. But as for this episode, that wraps up this episode. I don't know if you have any last thoughts to tell the folks out there.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I think we should definitely think about, hosting a networking night in Toronto at some point in the future. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. That's something that we can have coming up later in 2025.
Thank you for tuning in to Vendtelligence. Thank you to our sponsors, Keelsoft and Ava Water. Subscribe to Vendtelligence wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on social media and the links below. Peace!